Where is Amazon Prime? Anyways, let's start. Hope you guys had eaten something. Have food? Cute. Food is important, to serve also. There's one last question was there in the last session. So, what are the key takeaways from the last session of last session? Right? I mean the last hour of last session. What was the key takeaway? Sorry? Service is all about promise management. We learned two key things. One was marketing of products is not the same as marketing of service, or managing service is not the same as managing products. Why? Because products and services are different. They are different on four characteristics, which are IHIP. Remember IHIP. Now those four are different, and then you need a toolkit. Traditional product managers uses 4 P's: product, price, place, promotion. So as a service manager, you add 3 more: people, process, physical evidence, right? Because if there is no, and you can argue that we are living in this digital world, right? Where you may not need people. Like in Japan, a few years ago, they started a hotel which was 100% run by robots. The receptionist was a robot, the concierge was a robot, and people who will serve are also robots. You can do that, but it didn't work for long. In services, the importance of people is paramount. You can't deny the importance of people, the importance of process, right? We gave it the example of insurance claim, but it could be any process. It could be check-in process at a hotel. It could be, say, suppose you are injured and you go to the emergency department of a hospital, and this says, wait, your turn will come in half an hour. Probably in half an hour you will see the God, right? You never know. Right? So the process is important in service delivery. And finally, the physical evidence. So what is physical evidence? It's the decor, it's the beauty, and beauty always attracts. It's the beauty of the place, right? You go to a 5-star restaurant or a 5-star hotel, and if the hotel is designed shabbily, you don't feel like going back, right? So the importance of physical evidence, people, and process is paramount to manage service, regardless of the type of service. You can say, what happens if it's an electronic business? Because there is a large amount of services which are electronic service, right? Say, for example, how many of you use Netflix? Okay, hands down. How many of you use Amazon Prime? How many of you use both? Right? And if you use both, what percentage of your time, say you use it 4 hours a day, what amount of your time of 4 hours goes to Netflix compared to Amazon Prime? Netflix more. Why? You take this. Because
the dramas and series are
are good.
good.
Anyone else who watches more Netflix, less Amazon Prime? So at our home, we have all subscriptions you can imagine, because we have 4, and all 4 have 4 different tastes. I am a big Netflix guy. You give me Netflix and my scotch, you don't have to worry about me. I don't need anything else in life, right? But Netflix, why Netflix stands out? I go to Amazon Prime to find some Indian drama. So there was an Indian drama came, The Family Man. I went there, Family Man. Only for Family Man, came back to Netflix. Because Netflix is designed better than Amazon Prime. That's my personal perception. It's easy to find stuff on Netflix. The physical evidence part of Netflix, to my mind, is better than Amazon Prime. I'm not saying it's the best, but it's better. So even electronic, if you go to Amazon, the website is designed much better than anything else, any other competitors. So even in electronic business, physical evidence is important. You can't have a shabby website design if you want to be a good retailer in the online space, right? So physical evidence is as important for a physical service and equally relevant for an online business, online service, or e-service, right? How do you define service? We didn't have time to do that. There was a definition of service. Like your product. How do you define product? A product is nothing but a bundle of benefits. Like this water. It's got some benefits. Then someone puts some vitamin in it and makes it blue water. Right? There is blue water, pink water, yellow water. Right? So the product becomes different with different benefits. Right? So the product is what is the definition of service? Because if you want to manage something, you need to know what is the definition of that. So the service definition is this. That is an action. Make a note of this. Service is an action taken by a service provider to create value for their customers and other stakeholders. It's not only the customer, right? Does it make sense? So service is an action. You always have to do something to get an output. But it's not only for the customer. You don't exist only for customer, do you? You don't. Because your customers are only happy if your employees are happy. Your customers are happy if your employees are happy, right or wrong? This is a golden principle. Write it down. It's called the golden rule of service management. And it's very simple. Happy employees equal to happy customers. Happy employees equal to happy customers. So if you want to make your customers happy, how can you make a customer happy? Start with the employees. Like I was so happy, I was having lunch with your vice chancellor. And I'm a researcher. Before I'm a teacher, I'm a researcher. I have a keen sense of observation. God has blessed me with that. I'm ever so grateful. I'm only watching your vice chancellor talk to his colleagues. And he's saying, isko dahi do, usko dal do, usko meetha do. He's the vice chancellor. He doesn't need to do this. Not many vice chancellors, trust me, not many vice chancellors will do this. You're lucky to have a vice chancellor who care about his people. Because in his heart, he's not a businessman. I mean, he's not a business professor. He's from a different domain. But he knows in his heart that if I look after my people, they look after each of you. Right or wrong? If I'm not happy, I can't perform. All I'm doing today is I'm performing, right? I'm only an actor. Right? I'm only an actor. So are you. You're also an actor. You play your role, I play my role, and when both of us play our roles, a nice movie is made. We learn. Does it make sense? And your vice chancellor is making sure, and this is my observation, that each and every person who was having lunch with us is well fed. And then they look after you. Golden principle. Anytime you have an opportunity to manage a service, treat your employees like humans. There are some employers who treat humans or employees as objects. Treat employees as humans, not objects, humans. Don't treat your employees as objects, right? So let's move on. So now we will give you a brief snapshot of how to manage customer experience, and then we will do go and do a case study. Okay. So this agenda was quite big, but we will shorten it a little bit in the interest of time. So we will spend some time on what are the different building blocks of customer experience. Say for example, if you are running a hospitality business, if you are running a tourism business, if you are running a cafe, if you are running a university, how can you make sure? So in my previous university, I started my job in Australia at University of Western Australia. I spent 9.5 years and then I switched to ECU. ECU is my second university in Australia. I served on a committee at University of Western Australia called the Student Experience Committee. So we used to have a committee at the university level centrally. The job of that committee was to brainstorm and implement what is best for our students. How can we make our student life better for the time that they spend with us? Minimum 3 years you will spend with an university. Sometimes 4, sometimes 5, sometimes 7, depending on the type of course you choose. Right? So we had thought of a group whose primary job was to look after your experience. Does this make sense? Same thing applies for a business. What should I do to look after my customer experience or to take care of my customers? Right? So there are different building blocks. So like at the beginning we asked you, share a bad experience. Now let me ask you about a good experience. Life is all about good memories, not only bad memories, right? So are you happy to share? 2 people missing. Where they left? We are going to complain. That's good. Anyone wants to share a good experience? Customer experience. Not that you don't have a good experience. Who wants to share a good experience? Come on, speak up. Don't stare at me as if I'm a zombie. Right? I'm not a zombie, I'm a good looking human being. No, I don't shy away from, you always have to pump yourself that you are the best. How many of you do that? Pump yourself that you are the best. My supervisor used to tell me, when you go into a classroom or any presentation, because I travel all over the world for conferences and all, and I give talks and I give presentations, he told me, the moment you walk in, tell yourself you are the best. Right? I pray for his soul to rest in peace. It took me 15 years to imbibe that in my blood. So only one thing flows in my blood, and that is confidence. Right? No one has a good experience to share, a good story to tell. Any sector. You understand the meaning of Ziddi? Maybe Ziddiu. I'm not going to move on until one person shares a good experience. We have a mic. The mic will come to you. One good experience. Up. Who wants to share a good experience? Oh my God. No one wants to talk. No one is going to offer you a job if you don't speak in an interview. Trust me. You have to speak up. A good experience, please. Come on. We have to close it now. The session closes now if no one shares one good experience. We just want one brave heart. You want to share? Okay, mic comes to you. We have another mic here. You can turn that off. See?
Hello everyone. Once we just visit to a spectacles shop, me and my friend went to buy her spectacles. So we are just looking at the frames we like. Then the shopkeeper just offering us the what would you like to have, just, and then he just offered the cold drinks and beverage, whatever we like. That's I like the.
You liked it.
So,
Okay, you can turn off the mic now. What's your name?
my name is Daskit Angmo.
I can't pronounce. I'm sorry. Ammo? Ammo? Ammo is fine? Okay, Ammo is fine. She went to buy a pair of glasses. Spectacles means glasses, right? A pair of glasses for your friend, with your friend, whatever. What is she offered? Some beverage, some cool drinks, some water. Not everybody does it. Remember, this is the cookie that that company is using. That's the cookie, the water bottle. I still remember the Grab water bottle from my Singapore trip. Two things I remember. One, the roller coaster ride in the Universal Studios, and the second is the 200 milliliter water bottle. That makes your experience. That's one part of the experience. Second part of the experience, I'll tell you. When I ask, I tell also, right? So as I told you, I send medicine to my father every month, twice a 2 months medicine I will buy, ship it to him. There's a company here called farmeasy.in, right? I used to use Farmeasy, but there is an issue. You have to have an Indian mobile number because every time you log in, they send an OTP. So I used to use my father's phone number. I will call him immediately, give me OTP. And the old man will look, and after 5 minutes, he will give, the time expires. Right? But still, we managed. Suddenly, they stopped. Farmeasy said, no, we are not delivering to your father's village. Right? What do I do? And my old man doesn't want to live in city anymore. He's lived for 35 years in city. He's tired of city life. He's gone back to his village. Now I'm badly searching. If he's in city, I don't have to worry. My brother is there. Then I'm searching who can deliver medicine to my father. And I'm Googling. You know what I find? Amazon pharmacy. Amazon has a pharmacy wing. I did not know. And first thing they ask is the pin code. I lodge my pin code, my father's pin code, and the message comes, we deliver to this pin code. Imagine my happiness. Alright? Imagine my happiness. And since then, every medicine that my father consumes is through Amazon Pharmacy. And no wonder, 9 out of 10 or 9.9 out of 10 times, I have a good experience with Amazon. Not that others are not, but since we started with Amazon, we continue with Amazon. Okay? This makes sense. But we need to understand what are the different building blocks of customer experience. Do you know Nike? Do you know Nike Plus? No? There's a link here. When you have time, go to YouTube. Just type Nike Plus. So what does Nike do? Of course. Why are you so hesitant? They don't do shoes only. They do sports apparel. It's not only shoes. They have t-shirts. They have sports shorts. They have all sorts of sports gear you can imagine. Right? But Nike Plus is different. I urge each and every one of you tonight, spend 10 minutes of your life to see this video on YouTube. Just go there, Nike Plus. You will see. About 5.5 minutes is the video. Nike Plus is a smart shoe. It's a shoe. It's like your smartwatch. You know smartwatch? I wear dumb watch. I don't like smartwatch. I'm more of a dumb watch person, right? But most of the shoes we wear are dumb shoes. Nike came up with a smart shoe. That means it's got a chip inbuilt in it. So every time you walk, what your wristband, your smartwatch does, right? Your smartwatch gives you your number of steps, your heart rate, your BP, your sugar, your kidney failure, everything it will give. Right? Same thing they implanted in a shoe, which is connected to a mobile app. You do every activity, it shows on the phone, it gives you rewards, it connects you to physical trainers and all of that. But what is the core business of Nike? Making sports apparel. But Nike Plus, is it a product? Now the question is Nike Plus a product? So the video link is here, we don't want to play now. Reason, I don't know whether the audio will work or not, so that's the reason. So the question is Nike Plus? So you can see here, it's all connected to your wristband or phone and everything it can connect to. So it gives you all the stats that your wristband gives. But now it's directly connected through your shoe, on your phone, on your wristband, right? So the question is it a service or a product? Is Nike Plus a service or a product? It's both. How? Now someone is speaking. Right? A shoe is always a product. But now they have embedded a technology in the shoe to offer you an experience. So it's neither a product nor a service, it's an experience, which is an altogether different offering. Does it make sense? Right? So Nike Plus is like an experience. It's not wearing a shoe, right? It's moving from a physical good. Like how many of you go to a store to buy a shoe? All of you? Some of you buy online, right? So it's a physical good. But someone has used technology to transform a physical something to something which is experiential. You remember the 4 types of values? One of them is experiential value. So it's creating an experience. And shoe is such a critical thing for your happiness. You know that? So it is directly correlated to your happiness, the quality of your shoes. Right? So I tell my daughter the other day, sorry, I bring my family to all the time, but when you are old, you have family stories to tell. So I have a daughter of 15 years old, and she had a cruise party from school, right? And from the school, they mandated that girls must wear a specific type of a dress. And whenever she has to buy something, she chooses father over mother, right? So she comes with me, we buy her a dress, a beautiful, gorgeous green dress, we buy. She wears, and then she says, Dad, I need a shoe for this. I said, you have enough shoes. Why? No, I want a shoe which goes with this particular dress. I said, okay. Ji lo apni zindagi. So I took her to a shoe store. To the shoe store where I buy usually my shoes. I took her. She sees nothing she likes. Then I selected a shoe. And 9 out of 10 times, whatever I select, she will like. It's a father-daughter relation, So I bought a beautiful, I don't know the name of the shoe. It's a pointy type of a shoe. There's a specific, I'm trying to see if anyone is wearing. It's a leather shoe. It's very cushiony, soft. And it was 50% discount. And we paid. And she said, Dad, it's at 50% discount, it was $100. She said, why did you pay $100 for a shoe, Dad? I said, never wear a shoe which is cheap. Khana kam kha lena, but jute achhe pehenna. That was my lesson to my daughter. Because shoe is something that is directly, there is a reason. Because the moment you put your feet in the shoe, it is not a shoe anymore. It's the experience of wearing that beautiful thing called shoe. Right? So कपड़ों पे कम खर्च कर लेना, shoes पे ज़्यादा हमेशा खर्च करना. Right? Trust me. Right? People, the first thing they notice in you is the shoe. Right? जूते कभी चीप मत पहनना, बाकी चीज में कम खर्च कर लेना, 2 कॉफी कम पी लेना, लेकिन जूते अच्छे पहनना. Right? So jute is so important for our experience. So it's becoming, Nike Plus is becoming an experience. Shoe is not a product to me. मेरे लिए घड़ी और जूता एक्सपीरियंस है, आपके लिए नहीं हो सकता. इट्स वेरीज फ्रॉम कस्टमर टू कस्टमर. और आप जब पैसा ज्यादा कमाते हो ना, देन यू डोंट लुक फॉर प्रोडक्ट्स, यू लुक फॉर एक्सपीरियंसेस. एंड खूब पैसे कमाओ, अर्न लॉट ऑफ मनी एंड स्पेंड अ लॉट ऑन योरसेल्फ. No joke. Because experience adds value, and this is the reason. Now there is another company. I'm forgetting the name of this company in Australia. मुझे याद आ जाएगा तो मैं बता दूंगा now. But I'll tell you the purpose why I bring that company. So when you go and buy a shoe, I'm sure in India also it's happening, but I've left India 13 years ago, so मुझे उतना पता नहीं है. But when you buy shoes, every brand has its own sizing. A 5 of Nike may not be a 5 of Adidas. A 6 of Adidas may not be a 6 of Puma. So size varies. So when you go to the shoe store, they have a sizing kind of a scale. You put your feet there, they will tell you the size. This guy, when you go there, they have a scanner. So they will ask you to stand on the scanner. When you stand on the scanner, they will scan the arch. You know the arch of your foot? Do you know? You don't know the arch of your foot? Do you look at your foot? This is called the arch of the foot. जो पैर के नीचे जो bend होता है ना, उसको arch बोलते हैं. And every good shoe must support your arch. अच्छा जूता वही होता है जो आपको arch को support करता है. Now this guy uses technology to scan your feet. And then it has an iPad connected to it. वो iPad पे देखता है कि what type of a shoe is good for you. Suddenly, you are not only buying a shoe. Are you buying a shoe anymore? No. Shoe है, जाओ size देखो, खरीद लो, भागो. You're not buying. You go and you can customize. So they will suggest you that you should wear a shoe with this curvature. You should wear a shoe depending on your body weight and your arch and curvature and your feet length and all of that. They will suggest you one specific type of make for you. It's not experience. Not everybody does it. Those who do it, they are not in the business of selling shoes. They are in the business of selling an experience of buying a shoe. These are two different things. Selling a shoe is one type, and marketing an experience of buying a shoe is another thing. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? Right? So when you do this, you have a customer with whom you can build a relationship, right or wrong? So हमने शुरू में बोला था, service management is not transactional. Service management is relational. And in today's digital world, how can you use technology to build that relationship? This is an example. Are you sleeping? Do you need coffee? You see, I'm in this business for a long time. You can't beat my eyes. Anyways, you are entitled to take a nap. You know? So the key to maintaining positive customer perception of surveys is to transform the surveys into an experience. Do you agree with me? Right? Now think about the big hotel brands like the Ritz-Carlton, the Four Seasons Hotels, the Sheratons, right? The Taj Group. They are in the same business as La Crook, right? I'm using La Crook because you can relate to it. They're in the same business. But think about the difference. They have elevated the hotel business to an level where even foreign tourists want to go to a Taj to have a coffee. Right? Right or wrong? Or to have a stay. They're not going to have a coffee. You can have good coffee outside Taj. You are going to Taj to have the experience of drinking coffee at Taj. Right? It's two different things. हम जब अशोका में रुके We were so hungry. And you know, I told you the beautiful check-in experience of Ashoka. Right? And the kids are super hungry. And we said, okay, let's go out. Delhi is known for its food. We'll find something. And my daughter said, Dad. The moment she says Dad, I know she don't want to go out. So we found a restaurant within Ashoka called the Oud. You can search it. The Oud. We went there, khana shuru kar diye. Right? But the food and the service. You know, there were 4 people always hovering around your table. Sometimes it becomes very intrusive. Like if you live in Australia for a long time, you don't want too many people around you. Like I was feeling so awkward when so many people were serving food today during the lunch session, right? Because we are not habituated. Like, so I feel privileged that still in India you can get that. Same thing happening at the Oud. It's a buffet. We take the food, we sit at the desk, table, we are eating, 4 of us. And these people are so well dressed. Every few minutes they are coming and taking our plate away. Suppose मैं मीठा लाने गया, आके देखा मेरा plate गायब है. they thought it's a dirty place, they took it away. Every time a lady will come, sir, anything else? You want to try this? You want to? No, this is the service part of it, right? They are trained. But there is a fine line. कहाँ पे intrusion शुरू होता है? I don't want too closeness, right? जब वापस जा रहे हैं मैंने बोला bill add कर देना. Out of curiosity I asked, what is the bill? They say 4 people inclusive 12,000 rupees. 12,000 rupees for 4 meals? Well, yeah. But every penny was worth it. You understand what I mean? We were not eating food only. 12,000 rupees can buy you lot of food in Delhi, and that too good quality food. But हम खाना नहीं खा रहे थे खाली. It was not food. It was the experience of eating at a 5-star hotel, and that too Oud. Oud food is next level. Does this make sense? Your job as a service manager is, can you create a service so that a customer like me tells a story like me? Right? All I'm telling you is a story. Am I right? Can you create advocates out of your customers? Make a note of this. Can you create advocates out of your customers? Advocates means not the lawyers. Advocates in India means lawyers, right? These are the advocates. What does advocate do? They advocate for their clients. Can you transform your customers in becoming your advocates? So that they go and tell about. I would have told this story at least 20 times in the last 2 years. No, last 1 year, because last 6 months. We ate at Oud in January 2025. It's not too long ago. I was in India in January with my family. So it's not food, it's the experience. Right? And you can do this. Right? So to understand managing customer experience, let us understand this particular aspect of this. And with that we will close. The journey of a coffee. It's my favorite example. Right? How many of you like coffee? It's quite a few, yeah. I can see why so many cafes are there in Leh. Right? No, I was not surprised, but I was happy because there's so many cafes in the center, and not at, these are all walking distance. So why do you like coffee? Those who like coffee? Sorry? Sorry? Relief. You have a mic. It gives you relief. Every person has their own reason to drink coffee. कोई गम में पीता है, कोई right? Right? Anyone else who drinks coffee? Why you drink coffee? There's always a reason. Don't forget. Customers always have a reason to buy a product or a service. In the service business, if you are managing a service, you need to give your customer that reason. If you don't give your customer that reason to buy your coffee, they will go to another cafe. You will lose business. Give your customer. So Simon Sinek or even Steve Jobs. How many of you know Simon Sinek? No one? If you don't know, Google him. You should know him. Simon Sinek says, customers don't buy what you offer. So you're buying coffee, right? And that's why first I asked you what, then I asked you why. I'm probably one of the biggest fans of Simon Sinek. I follow him to the T. I read all his books. 3 or 4 books he has published so far. I've read all of it. I love this man. He says, customers don't buy what you sell. Customers buy why you sell. It's a profoundly important statement. What did I say? Can you repeat? Customers don't buy what you sell. Customers buy why you sell. Right? And this is very related to Steve Jobs also. So we recently published, I will share with Stanzin, a 2-page article in EFMD's global magazine, Global Focus magazine. It's about what is the purpose of marketing. Yeah, we'll after 2 minutes, give me 10 minutes and then we'll share. So you are buying coffee for a reason. You buy any product for a reason, or for that matter, any service for a reason, right? Coffee, journey of a coffee, and then we will get into the case study, right? Quickly. So before you actually buy the coffee, coffee has actually traveled miles. You know, Australia is probably one of the largest coffee drinking population. We are very less, only 27 million people live in Australia, right? Right? But a large proportion of Australians drink coffee. But you know, we don't grow coffee, but we make good coffee. We roast coffee. So coffee goes through a full circle before you sip it. And if we understand the journey of a coffee, we understand how to manage customer experience. So this is the journey of a coffee. And this is not my story. I've taken it from a book called The Experience Economy, one of my all-time favorite books called The Experience Economy. If you ever want to be in business, keep this book on your desk, The Experience Economy. So coffee starts its journey from commodities. Coffee is produced from coffee beans, right? Then that commodity becomes a product, a good. Maxwell House is the example that the book uses. You can put it Nescafe, right? So in La Croix, they give me Nescafe sachet. I don't have a choice because I rise early, but cafes open only at 8:30. I found there is one cafe which opens at 8:30. All the rest opens at 10:30. 6 hours after I wake up, coffee shops open here. Right? So I'm making a pact with Nescafe, which is, by the way, very bad coffee. right? Right? But for Indians, Nescafe is like Amrit. Right? So you can play. So the commodity, somebody has done something to the commodity, the beans, and made Nescafe. So put Nescafe here. Dunkin' Donuts is again a cafe chain in America. You can put Cafe Coffee Day, right? So you can put CCD or any other lavender cafe. So the commodity becomes coffee powder or coffee, ground coffee. Somebody makes the ground coffee and serves to you, so service. But today, you can train people to make good coffee. And these coffee makers are called baristas. So there are courses for baristas. So you can train people to make a good cup of coffee. It's not too hard to make a good cup of coffee. So out of 10 cafes, everybody can make good coffee. So where is your point of differentiation? How will you say, my coffee is better than your coffee? Because अगर आप बोलोगे नहीं that how is your coffee better than others, nobody buys your coffee. So standardization is happening. There is no differentiation. Now comes this thing. Starbucks or CCD or coffee the way you like it, right? So when I went to this Air India lounge in New Delhi, so मैंने वहाँ पे पूछा कि आप कॉफी मिलेगी? These are machines, sir. I'm like, is there anyone who is making a coffee? I said, no, all the settings are there in the machine. I said, no, I want a human who can make a coffee for me. I said, sorry, sir, but we only have machine making coffee for human, not a human making coffee for human. And this is your opportunity. Can you bring the human element? Not that technology cannot create good experience, but जब सारे लोग अच्छा कॉफी बना रहे हैं, then why will somebody come to Cafe Coffee Day? Because Cafe Coffee Day has to promise something. I remember when I was dating my current wife, my only wife, right? We were dating, so we dated for quite a long time, 3 years or 5 years, I don't remember also, right? Cafe Coffee Day was coming to India or started. And Cafe Coffee Day has a beautiful tagline, right? Anyone remembers Cafe Coffee Day's tagline? It's just skipping my mind. It was, we create happy memories together or something close to that. I'm forgetting, like, I've left the country so long that I forget. Someone can Google it. So the whole idea was, oh, we create moments of happiness or something. Let's forget that. Something, we create together something. So we will go, me and my then girlfriend, we will go to the CCD. Both of us were poor. So we can only buy barely 2 coffees. We'll buy coffee and we'll drink it. The longest coffee I have drank from one cup would be during my dating days. The coffee wouldn't finish. Like when you are in love, everything else seems useless. Right? Right? But there was a problem at Cafe Coffee Day. Every 10 minutes, the moment your coffee is almost at the bottom, someone will come. Sir, और कुछ चाहिए? और कुछ order करेंगे आप? Come on. I don't have money. I can't order, right? Or in front of your girlfriend. How can you say you don't have money? You're an Indian man. Right? नाक कहाँ रहती है? Bottom line is, they were asking you either buy or leave. Go to Starbucks. They never ask you, would you like to order something? Because their uniqueness, their point of differentiation is, you come to us, you spend as much time as possible. I wish there was a Starbucks when I was dating my wife. Probably would have ordered 1 coffee and spent 5 hours together. Right? Right? But I understand. Every business is different. I'm not blaming CCD or anybody. All I'm saying is there are different ways of doing the same business. Right? What Starbucks was capable of doing, maybe CCD's business model did not allow, which is perfectly fine. I'm thinking like a typical customer, a typical Indian customer. हम तो 1 रुपये में से 1.5 रुपये निकाल लेते हैं ना? You know that phrase, right? 1 रुपये में से 1.5 रुपये निकाल के देखा है कभी? Did anybody try that? 1 रुपये में से try to squeeze 1.5. We Indians are good at that. So what is happening here? With the moral of the story, what is happening from commodities to goods to services? What is happening? Anyone quick? We have a case study coming up. What is happening? क्या हो रहा है? What is the change? Product is changing. Form is changing. It was beans, useless. आप beans चबा के तो नहीं खाओगे. So there is a value addition that is happening. So if you go here, so what is happening is somebody is extracting value from commodities, making goods. Somebody is extracting value from goods, making services. कोई services में और value add करके experience बना दे रहा है. You choose what is your turf. You can have business all of these places or any of these places. Starbucks chose that one. CCD chose this one. You choose where you want to play. But if you are a service manager, where you want to play? What is your battleground if you are a service manager? Where is your battleground? Your battleground is either on services or experiences. But आजकल, in the age of technology, services are also getting standardized, right? So the only point of differentiation remains is experience, right? Because there are three things for a service manager. Make a note of this. And with that, we'll move into the case study. So at every step, you're adding value, right? And this is the key. You want to become a service manager, add value. So there are three things that you need as a service manager. ATM. A full form बताया कोई मुझे? Automated teller machine. Right? You need ATM. Number one, attention of the customer. Number two, time of the customer. Number three, money of the customer. In today's world, attention, time, and money, and any service provider who gets customer attention, customer's time, customer's money, will rule the world. Does that make sense? Because we are divided. Netflix जाओ या Amazon Prime जाओ, जिसने आपका attention ज़्यादा ले लिया वो आप वहाँ जाओगे. मेरा attention हमेशा Netflix पे होता है. मेरा पैसा भी Netflix पे जाता है और सबसे ज़्यादा time भी Netflix पे जाता है. So I'm a perfect living example of ATM for Netflix. Right? This is not my classification. It comes from the book The Experience Economy. ATM. Let's move on to the case study. Does this make sense? Okay.